Football over the years has produced some crazy records, from Messi and Ronaldo smashing them all to some that will never be broken. Today, we look at some of the worst and craziest records in the history of football. Firstly, we will take a look at some of the highest scoring games. One you may or may not be familiar with was the 2002 Madagascar League game between AS Adema and SOE Antananarivo, where SOE scored 149 own goals to lose 149-0. This came about during the 4-team playoff to determine the National League winner. In the previous game, they had been playing against DSA Antananarivo, who were awarded a late controversial penalty to win the game 3-2, meaning that Adema were crowned champions with one game to go. As a result of the penalty call, the SOE players decided to protest by scoring own goal after own goal. 4 players, including the national team goalkeeper and coach, were later banned as a result of this game. I doubt we will ever see a scoreline coming anywhere close to this one ever again. Keeping on the same theme here of scorelines, and we move across to international football. Back in 2001, Australia played American Samoa in a 2002 World Cup qualification match. This was back when Australia were part of Oceania before they moved to the Asian Confederation in 2006. Australia came out 31-0 winners, beating the previous record score of their own 22-0 win over Tonga 2 days earlier. We've got to feel sorry for the American Samoans, who were 16-0 down at half-time. How would that team talk have gone? "We're still in this, lads. Travis, we're 16-0 down. Still 0-0, boys. Let's keep going." What is wrong with this guy? It must have been so depressing for the team who were ranked 203rd and last in the world at the time. Fair play to them for battling out 90 minutes though. Australia ended up finishing top of the group with 66 goals scored and 0 conceded in 4 games. Archie Thompson set another record in this game with the most individual goals. Thompson managed to score 13 goals in only his 3rd game for the country. Bruno Fernandes wondering why he can't play against teams like that so he can continue stat padding. These days, he can be seen commentating the Australian A-League when he isn't two-footing children. Now, moving on to a team you may not expect to see on this list, but probably are pleased to, Arsenal. When they played West Ham in the 2006-07 season, the Gunners managed a total of 35 shots without scoring a single one. Rob Green made an astonishing 11 saves to keep a clean sheet in their 1-0 win. Bobby Zamora managed to score one of West Ham's 6 shots to see them win this London derby. This next record is a bit of a strange one. William Falk, who played for Sheffield United, Chelsea and Bradford City, weighed an astonishing 161 kgs while playing football. Nicknamed Fatty, and rightly so, Falk won 2 FA Cups with Sheffield United and a First Division title. He was also named Berlin Brit's Goalkeeper of the Decade for the 1900s. He also made 1 appearance for England against Wales. Now moving over to penalties and a night to forget for Martin Palermo. Picture this. You're at the 1999 Copa America tournament. You're playing for your country in only your 5th appearance. In the 5th minute, you take a penalty, but you hit the crossbar. In the 76th minute, your team are 2-0 down and you have a chance to half their lead from the spot once again, but you sky it. Then in the 90th minute, the game's already lost at 3-0, but you have a chance to get your pride back, once more from the spot. You hit it on target this time, but the keeper saves it. This is what happened to Martin Palermo when he missed 3 penalties in a 3-0 loss to Colombia. There were also 2 more penalties in the game for Colombia, one of which was missed, meaning only 1 of 5 penalties were scored in that game. We'll now take a quick look at the football leagues of England for the shortest stint as manager. Leroy Rosenoir lasted just 10 minutes as Torquay United manager during his 2nd stint. At the same time of his introduction as manager, Torquay were bought by a local consortium. They decided to name Colin Lee as chief executive, who appointed Paul Buckle as the manager. Rosenoir later went on to manage Sierra Leone that year. Now, one of the more feistier matches in history, and in the Argentinian D division, in the game between Claypole and Victoriano Arenas, there were an astonishing 36 red cards. Chaos absolutely broke out with a mass brawl happening after 2 Victoriano Arenas players had been sent off earlier. Referee Damien Rubino was very trigger happy and sent off all 22 players along with 14 subs and staff. And looking back at the footage, rightly so.
Card. 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 Card.
Keeping with the theme of red, and the player with the most red cards in a career is Gerardo Bedoya. Surprisingly, Pepe and Ramos' respective 13 and 27 reds don't even come close to Bedoya's 46 red cards. The former Colombian international managed a crazy 14 red cards in 4 years at Deportivo Cali. He is now manager of Valledupar, who play in the second tier of Colombian football. Imagine having him as your coach. Alright lads, today at training we're working on 2 foots. Last one to not have their kneecaps broken wins. Just hear him yelling his head off on the sideline. This stat here is a bit of an interesting one, and I thought it should be included. Jorginho managed 3,118 passes without making a single assist when he signed for Chelsea. Finally, in September 2019, he managed to set up Tammy Abraham for his hat-trick to break his long run. This completely smashed the previous record of 2,200 by Swansea's Leon Britton. Jorginho now has 8 total assists for Chelsea, with half of those coming this season. The final record we're going to look at is quite possibly the worst performance in history. As a Kiwi myself, this one hits home hard. A few months ago, at the She Believes Cup held in the States, Liverpool's Michaela Moore managed to score 3 own goals in the space of 36 minutes, with 2 of those coming in the first 6. Not only that, but it was a perfect hat-trick. 1 off the right, 1 off the head, and 1 off the left to finish it off. She was then subbed at the 40th minute mark. You have to feel sorry for her, and she was in an absolute state at the side of the pitch. That has to be one of the most unfortunate matches you could ever have. Alright, well those were the 10 of the worst and craziest records in football history. Let me know what you think of those, and if you have any more that could be added to the list. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.